We are in the prime time for speculation for Planet Zoo. Content creators across the world are coming up with what they think is going to be the next pack for Planet Zoo. Whether it's birds, whether it's deserts, whether it's badlands, whether it's something else like aquariums for some reason, everyone is just itching to know what the next Planet Zoo DLC is. After the tropical pack, I think we all could use a little bit of a dip in a nice island water personally. Or maybe diving into a nice desert oasis. Welcome everyone, hope you guys are all having the most wonderful of wonderful days today. My name is Leaf and it's so great that you guys are able to join me as we talk about my personal predictions for the next Planet Zoo DLC. Now, right off the bat, I want to address a pack that I personally want so badly, but I don't think is going to happen right now. That one is the Mountain Animal Pack, or Highlands Animal Pack, or whatever you want to call it. I don't think that this would happen right now because I don't think it matches the season. I feel like Planet Zoo always tries their best to match up DLCs with the season, whether it be grasslands for the spring, whether it be something else like, you know, aquatic for the winter. That's because we had like the king penguin and like the seal for all those like, you know, nice winter murals and stuff like that. Even Australia for the summer, it just makes sense. It just makes sense, guys. But I think that because of this, we are going to be seeing a big push for the summertime season with islands or maybe desert. Both are relatively warmer times of the year, or rather warmer climates where you would come to expect that stuff this time of year. And I personally think that either one is going to be the one that we're going to get. Now, let's talk about islands first. There are so many different islands across the world that we have so many beautiful animals from that we still don't have in Planet Zoo. I think a few glaring omissions are tree kangaroos on one side and Tasmanian devils on the other, both incredibly awesome marsupials that I think would make for either one excellent headliners for this pack. The Tasmanian devil personally has been at the top of the meta wish list for the longest time, and while we haven't really heard much about the meta wish list as of late, it's still there, and you guys can still participate in it, but I fear that we probably won't get too much interaction with it coming down the line. But the Tasmanian devil, it's definitely going to come to Planet Zoo, but it is how it's going to come to Planet Zoo. And I believe that would be through the process of an islands pack, and we can talk about the other animals that might adjourn it as well. Obviously, I just brought up the tree kangaroo. Tree kangaroos are probably some of my favorite marsupials out there. They are adorable. Super interesting evolutionary line that happened with them. Very, very cool stuff to read up on, but I just think they're an extremely charismatic animal. Whether we get the Goodman's tree kangaroo or the Goodfellows or the Matchies or Goodfellows. Yeah, that's it. Whether we get either one, I would be happy because that just means I get to make the other one as a mod. Super easy, right? Really cool animal. I think that everyone would love it, and if you aren't familiar with them yet, I hope you fall in love with them just as I have in the past. Aside from that, looking at the community, I know a lot of people would appreciate more New Zealand animals, so little blue penguins would be a really excellent choice. You have the kiwi, whether it be the little brown kiwi or whatever you want to choose. Really, really awesome animal. I personally love the nene because I think it would be great to have some more waterfowl in the game. And by more waterfowl, I mean one waterfowl. Just give us one and then we can make the rest. The nene is also a just very beautiful goose as well. Really awesome creature. Really hope we get that one as well. In terms of everything else, Fusa was originally on there, but I am turning my Madagascar eye to look at the cockerel shafaka. Extremely common in the United States, not really extremely common, but if you get shafakas, it's gonna be cockerels. Really, really iconic animal. You might know Zabumafu. These guys are the Zabumafu, and they're just a really, really awesome creature to have. I really think that this would be a super difficult animal to do in Planet Zoo. We currently have a mod of one based off of the proboscis monkey, but we would always prefer to have an official version than a mod version. I think everyone kind of prefers that at this rate. And that's pretty much it for my predictions for the island pack. I believe that we would also be getting some kind of you know, walkthrough exhibit, because that's kind of the way that the stuff's been tumbling nowadays. So I honestly think having a mixed budgies and Crimson Rosella habitat would be a really, really awesome thing to have in here, because it's so common in zoos, it's so common pretty much everywhere you go, and they're both iconic island species from Australia. I feel like that just makes sense. Now things are heating up here, and because of that, I say we go cool off in the desert. I know, makes total sense, right? Great segue. Deserts are extremely, extremely interesting for wildlife, because while you don't get a whole lot of wild biodiversity in there, you get some of the coolest animals, and I think we could talk about some of the headliners that we could get through here. I believe that some of the coolest ones that we could get would be the dromedary camel. Obviously not the coolest, but I think everyone kind of expects this animal to come at this point. It's an iconic zoo species, and I feel like we're all getting a little tired of the Bactrian camel, that I think the dromedary camel could honestly be a great headliner for this pack. And yeah, that's really it. Moving on from there, I also have the sand cat, extremely adorable and oftentimes coming up very much in popular culture nowadays. And it's coming up in zoos too. It's SSP is being very, very spread throughout American zoos at least, and they're just adorable little kitties. They have these little smushed in faces that I think are the cutest things in the world. Building off of there, we also have the Hamadryas baboon, very synonymous with like Ethiopia and stuff like that. Really, really need to get some more primates, and if we could get a primate in a desert pack, I think that would honestly be super fun right there. The Hamadryas baboon is of course a very beautiful primate that has this really, really bright white fur juxtaposed with a pink, almost red face coloration. Very cool species right there, and I just really think it would be super important to get these guys in the game to begin with. Now, I'm going to end this with a very interesting animal that I think could work, whether it's a habitat animal or whether it's a walkthrough exhibit animal. The burrowing owl, I feel like, would be a fun, funky animal for a desert pack that I think everyone would just love. As much as we would prefer to have flying animals in the game, such as birds, I really think that the burrowing owl could get the peacock treatment. It can fly, but it would prefer not to. Same thing with the other flying animals in the game, such as the flamingo. We can see that they make flight over short distances in Planet Zoo, but it's not the true flight that we all want. Now, the burrowing owl I feel like could be a very, very interesting choice for a desert pack, because no one would expect Frontier to make that. It's a very, very iconic animal that really doesn't match anything that we have in Planet Zoo right now. However, we got the penguin, and we also got all these other animals that I feel like also kind of stand out as ones that we never really expected to get. So I think that this would be a very, very fun addition for a desert pack to begin with. But what do you guys think is coming? What do you guys think is going to be the next DLC for Planet Zoo? Super excited to hear from you guys on this one, and I honestly hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you all have the most wonderful of wonderful days, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Take care, and goodbye.